Hi everyone, welcome to Life Tips by Ning. In this video, I'm explaining the fifth hexagram in I-Ching, meaning the waiting or patience leads to victory. So in order to better understand the meaning behind this particular hexagram, let's take a look at this image first. So the external triagram is water and the internal triagram is heaven. And each hexagram is actually interconnected with the one before and after itself. So the one before we talked about in the last episode is number 4. It's called the useful folly. So that one's image on the top is mountain, on the bottom is water. It's like water is forming a huge moisture barrier, becomes a veil that we're kind of in this innocent stage without a lot of knowledge or experience. But once you progressed to the next phase, you already learned a lot of stuff, see the world. Guess what? The natural next step is I have a lot of desire and needs to be fulfilled. So this number 5, the waiting hexagram, the actual original meaning for the Chinese name Xu is actually needs, desire, wants, or goals. But the meaning behind the hexagram is about being prepared and waiting for the right moment to achieve your goal. That will ensure your the highest chance of being successful. You can also see from this meaning that internally I have a pure heaven, which is all made up of all yang lines. It's a lot of drive, motivation, and kind of raw move to take action. It's very action oriented. But what are you faced with all of this strong motivation? Is this external water, which represents danger, risk, challenge, or hurdles. So it's actually on a philosophical level, it means how do we treat our humanly raw desires, right? Everything has a price. It's in order to achieve your goals, you have to have the right patience and preparation. Otherwise, you won't able to conquer all of those challenges thrown in front of you. And this hexagram is about how do you treat this ingrained natural human desire to conquer the challenge you're supposed to go through in order to get to that successful landing. So that's the meaning for this one. And I really like how it described each individual line because it's using an ancient example of one of the most dangerous things you can do is to cross a rushing river. This one of the most challenging things in like several thousand years ago. So it's the whole explanation was based on that goal, that need of crossing this dangerous river. And depending on the timing and the stage of your life, when should you move, whereas when should you wait? So let's dig into the individual line meaning. So the first one is the initial stage of this desire of having a goal. Even though you might be talented, it's just not the right time. And the description is super vivid. It's like you're living in the suburb, you might not even have line of sight of this river you're trying to cross. So in this case, you should enjoy your daily ordinary activities and your everyday life. Just have fun with it, have fun with being ordinary and common and being normal. Don't be so rushed to try to achieve certain like high status. That's reserved for later. Just enjoy what you have. Repeat seemingly boring cycles days in and days out. Because with this consistency and perseverance, you're waiting while you're enjoying yourself and the right moment will come. So when you do your prediction and land on this line, it means don't take action, stay still. And moving to the second line, right? So now you're moving closer to the river, to your goal. Now you're in this sandy area. It's saying, well, now you have this goal in sight. Danger and rewards are paired together. No risk, no rewards. So in this case, you might experience some small frustrations, hurdles, or challenges. But if you want to turn something bad into something positive, the trick is to have a big, forgiving heart. So let's say you get into a conflict with a person. You want to take the high road and don't get into the nitty-gritty fighting or conflict with the person. Or every time, even though you feel like you're not treated fairly, ignore it, move on. The moment you have this sort of kind of forgiving and big heart attitude, then you'll be able to turn something, a minor hurdle, into a very successful outcome in the end. So that's the wisdom for this one. And then moving to the third line, now you're even closer to the river. You're in that muddy zone. The danger here is we're so tempted because you can reach it and feel it. So you waited for so long from the first two. Now it's like, I'm so close. And the biggest risk is at that very end stage, you lose your patience and you rush into something. And if you end up kind of fall into that trap of the temptation, then it's saying you get yourself into a very bad situation because you're kind of weak willpower at the end stage to wait. So in this case, it says rash decision attracts trouble. It's actually your own fault because you just can't wait that last little bit. Moving to the fourth one, this is when after the muddy zone, you already get yourself in the river. You're at that initial stage of crossing the river. And imagine like the current is so strong, right? So of course you're gonna get some bruises and injuries here and there. Not like a life or death situation, but it's saying you have to be exposed with danger and physical hurt. And so what do you do to survive and emerge yourself from this danger? Do you fight with the current? You're inline. You don't have that strong of a power. Or do you go with the flow and naturally flow with it? That's actually the smartest way to minimize harm. So the wisdom for this fourth line is meaning go with the flow, being very humble, listening to others in that situation. Don't fight with it. And even though you will experience minor injuries, but in the end, you can save yourself from danger. And moving to the fifth one, that's like, finally, I did all of my patience and preparation. I'm able to achieve my goal. I successfully crossed this dangerous river. I went to the other side. So it's a very good one. Is because you fulfill the meaning of this waiting hexagram. You did it. You meet all the prerequisite checklist. Now it pays off. You have a very successful outcome. This is a very positive result. And now to the last line, it's you're already at the other side of the river. Because of the position is the sixth one, this whole yin and yang, I-Ching meaning is once you reach the end of something, guess what? It circles back again. It's all the rhythm of constantly circling. So you might be at the beginning phase of a next stage of a new desire or new dream. And at that point, a risk is, oh my gosh, I'm so proud of myself. I did something super hard and I did it. I was successful. But that's fine. But don't take it overboard and turn that pride into like a overconfidence, because that will attract danger for you. You still need to respect the meaning of this particular hexagram, meaning now at the finishing stage of this current desire, I need to prepare myself for the next level goal. And in order to achieve it, I need to reflect on my learning from this particular one, and mostly focus on the similar. Remember how I started, right? Keep a low profile, be very humble, be respectful for other people, and stay steady. Don't fall into this trap of hasty action because I'm overconfident. As long as you can do that, then you kind of follow the natural law of how things should flow, and the outcome shouldn't be too bad. But people are easily fall into this trap of overconfidence mode, and then you're not really learning from your whole experience, and counterintuitively, right, not following the fifth hexagram's meaning, then it's saying you again, you put yourself in a very foolish and dangerous position. So that's kind of the wisdom and meaning for this fifth hexagram weighting. Thank you for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.